persist until the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. The NWA as a central governing body, with its singular, undisputed world champion, would be absolute and undeniable. This control, combined with the expansion of the interstate highway system, and the inevitable popularity and availability of regional television, would usher in an era of wrestling that was defined by what would come to be known as the territory system. The territory system would dominate wrestling for nearly 4 decades, while the borders, authority, popularity, and obedience of individual NWA territories was in a near constant state of flux. To this day, the impact and influence of these territories is still felt. Each territory had its own signature promoter and star. While it is impossible to cram these characteristics into a static, concrete map, we are damn sure going to try anyway.
So open up your eyes, way before it gets too late. Now one man, there's no way you can. If the street lights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Sinners never sacrifice. We never leave them alone. Is hate really worth the price? Look at what we've done. Never care for compromise. Always threatening someone's life, and it feels like the end of the world.
Welcome to another episode of This Week in Pro Wrestling with your host, Mike Monty and Jimmy Farrow. Jimmy.
Hey, yo.
So the time has finally come.
The time has come?
Yeah.
Time has come today?
The time has come today.
Nice. What's
so
come?
we do our predictions for pay-per-views.
I don't like that word, but go on.
And we always make fun, like, how do you predict scripted stuff?
That's why I don't like that word.
And, early in the beginning when we started the show, Jimmy is a pro wrestling expert. That is a fair comment.
Okay.
But Jimmy would take his predictions. At the time, we called them predictions very seriously. To the point it would ruin Jimmy's
viewing pleasure.
And again, when you watch football, baseball, whatever else, you're definitely invested. And in some cases, people partake in gambling. And that could make you a fan of any game, right? If you bet on it, you could care less about the team. Now you're betting on the game.
You know what I should have told you to bet on? Because
What's
at least this I got right. And I would have told you over a year ago. I don't know if they place bets like this, but maybe you can clear it up. I would have told you place whatever money you got down on 2 things are going to happen.
What's that?
Patrick Kane's going to be a New York Ranger, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York Jet.
I'm hearing
Do they do bets like that?
They do.
How much would you have made if, like, let's say a year ago, because I was talking about this all over a year ago.
Kane,
both these guys.
Obviously, you're clear about.
That, yeah.
I'm going to tell you, it does not look like Rodgers is coming to the Jets.
That's not what I heard from my little Jet friends.
I am hearing now, and it's what
Did he flake
I
out?
wanted.
Did he flake out?
What I wanted, but you didn't, and you convinced me not to go that way, but now it looks like it's
Now you want Derek Carr? I told you not.
I did not.
Okay.
Jimmy Garoppolo looks like
How did I
choice.
know? Where did you see this stuff?
I've been reading that this is the done deal.
Because basically, from what I understand, the trade negotiations are all in place. The money reconstructing of the contract is in place.
I hope you're right.
And the only thing left is just for Aaron to decide if he wants to retire or play football for the New York Jets, because he's not going back to Green Bay. They don't want him back.
Well, let's find out.
So let me ask you this much: do you think Aaron Rodgers will retire? I don't think so.
I think Aaron Rodgers, if he really wants to look, he's already cemented as one of the all-time greats.
Yes, he is.
I get it. But if you come to the Jets and you bring us to a Super Bowl,
oh my God, you're Messier.
And God will forget
you're Messier.
You're bigger than Messier.
No,
man.
There's no such thing. But you're on that plane.
I don't know, man.
Reggie Jackson and Mark Messier are the 2 splendid examples of athletes who had championship pedigree. The team that they went to needed to break a drought. The Yankees, believe it or not, for the Yankees, this was a drought. 1962, to 1976, no championships. Reggie
So you're
comes,
talking about former champions going to another team and making
delivering
them a
more,
champion.
like Tom Brady did for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Those are what I call messiers.
So I need to.
I believe Aaron Rodgers, if he completes this mission, is a messier
You know what's so funny though?
to this town, and he
I'm-
will be.
I'm quickly trying to think what other champions came to fix New York teams. And it's funny you bypassed Keith Hernandez.
Keith
Gary
Hernandez
Carter.
was yeah, absolutely. Gary Carter, absolutely. Gary Carter came from the Expos.
Right.
They didn't win anything.
No, they didn't.
The Expos never won
But
anything.
Hernandez won with the Cardinals.
Hernandez did. Yes, he
Trying
did.
to think
Splendid example.
Other teams that might have.
Brought in a champion.
Yeah.
Well, David Cohn came to the Yankees
Yes.
after winning a championship
Yeah.
with the Blue Jays.
Well, the Yankees are just full
You
of
know.
those guys who have come over and.
They're also
won another
full of those
champion.
guys who were brought up through the minors, like Thurman Munson, Mariano
See,
Rivera, Derek
When
Jeter,
you brought-
Bernie
when you
Williams,
bring
Jorge
up-
Posada.
When you bring up
There's a lot of them.
Jackson, though, Jackson came to a very weak Yankee team. I
No,
don't-
no. Wait. 1976, they lost the World Series.
Yeah, I get it.
That's not weak.
No, but what I mean by that is
they
like,
wanted to get
when,
over the top.
When David Justice came over
Mhm.
or Darryl Strawberry
The
came
Yankees
over,
were
the
fat.
Yankees are already big time.
Darryl got there. You know what's weird, though? I don't know if you remember
Dwight
about Darryl.
Gooden.
Darryl got there in 95. Buck Showalter didn't want him, and George said, oh, no, he stays. Buck Showalter was jettisoned. Darryl got 3 rings.
By the way, we veered off the point.
Yeah,
So
wait a minute.
we spoke-
This is wrestling.
Exactly.
Hold
so
on.
we spoke about
Yeah.
how we changed our mindset. Said, don't
Right.
get so serious. If you think you predicted a person's writing
Now,
and you think it's a big deal, it's
Nah.
really not. But
Right.
now it's become a big deal.
by the way, on a wrestling thing, a superstar with championship pedigree who was asked to come to a different team and it failed? CM Punk.
It's not over yet.
Oh, no. Is he coming back to
No.
AEW?
But
Oh, boy.
the WWE is now exploring legalized gambling for scripted matches in Colorado and Michigan. And it looks like
We better.
it's going. You will soon be able to bet on pro wrestling in the future.
Why don't we just.
Which I don't even understand how that could even get accepted because,
Dude, you'll
the
be
mob,
so
the
into
mob
it,
could,
though.
No, but the mob could be like, think about
Oh,
it.
my God. They're placing calls to Vince?
Or how about Vince? What if they find out, like, I don't know, Triple H is doing side bets and he's making himself millions of dollars? You know it could happen.
Wow.
Or the Miz, like, here's that this is going.
So this shouldn't be happening. This is not a good
I
idea.
do not think
That's
this is a
very
good
bad. But let me ask you this, though. If it does happen, will you be able to resist placing down
No.
a Ben Franklin on Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns?
I
You're
will not be.
betting.
I'm betting. I'm betting. World Wrestling Entertainment is looking to venture further into the sports betting landscape. According to CNBC report, WWE is exploring legalized betting on scripted matches. The company has reportedly held discussions with the state gambling
Wow.
regulators in Colorado and Michigan. A potential deal could change the WWE creative process. WWE talent wouldn't know the results of their matches until hours before performing. It would significantly alter how storylines are presented and build weekly shows on premium live events.
Do you think professional wrestling is pushing for this to happen?
It could be kind of fun. Think about it. You got a grand down on Roman and Cody.
You know?
you'd be like,
I gotta tell you, I smelled something suspicious years back when Kane kept tombstoning Pete Rose.
Really?
So I guess something's up here. Well, Pete Rose had a gambling problem, so why not? Might as well mix it all in here.
That's
Wow,
good stuff.
that's wild, dude. I can't believe that may happen.
In other news, Paul Heyman says Cody Rhodes' WWE Raw segment was everything you can dream about.
Yeah.
The saga revolving around Roman Reigns and the Bloodlines continues to be one of the hottest storylines featured in the WWE, and one instrumental figure in the group is the wise man Paul Heyman. Heyman has played a key role in the feud between Reigns and the 2023 Royal Rumble winner Cody Rhodes. Thoughts on that?
It was.
Is this the greatest storyline in professional wrestling history?
My lord, do I love this? You ask me this every week. It's in the top 5. Can I go there now?
I'm
slowly ebbing
There's
away.
a few things I will continue to ask you
Hogan
until it's over.
Hogan and Randy was just so fucking amazing that it's always going to be hard for me to
Right.
get past that. Hogan and Piper's relationship
Right.
and wars. are gonna-
Andre Hogan.
It's a brother. You're bleeding. It's going to be hard for me to get past all of that. Is this the greatest thing I've seen in decades? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still going with Cody.
Yeah, and you know what's even funnier? This wonderful, wonderful exchange that happened this past week. At the end, okay, first of all, does this sound familiar to you? Back when we were kids, the face comes out dressed in a suit. I'm talking WWF days.
Yeah.
The face comes out dressed as a suit. Mild-mannered as can be, no matter how badly he's insulted. May the best man win. Sound like somebody we grew up watching? Because when he shook his hand in the suit and Reigns just so, I don't know, Morocco arrogant about it, I saw Bob Backlund. The only difference was there's a thing on his neck. I was like going, oh my God, what a face he is. I'm getting back to my point that I've been telling you for the last few. This is going to be the best face in years. This is a great face, Cody Rhodes. What a great face he is. And I'm telling you, they love him and they love Roman. They love to hate Roman now.
Well,
this is magic, what's happening here. I'm loving this.
So we're still sticking with Cody on your end.
Yeah, I feel like logically.
I know you think I'm reaching every week, but I am
You're
officially
reach
making
through the match.
I'm making the Mike Monty announcement right now.
Here we go. Here it comes.
We will get The Rock at WrestleMania.
And he's going to help Roman win.
And he's going to help Roman win.
How did I?
And
you know what's weird?
Is my prediction.
You know what's really weird? I had that thought.
Really?
This week. I just said it, didn't I? Before I ruined your damn thing. I did it again. But I mean, I had the same exact thought. The fans are going to go nuts. The Rock is out here. He's going to show
something
Roman.
happening.
Yeah. He's going to show Roman now. Who the real head of oh, God, he just rock bottom Cody.
That's right.
What the fuck?
And in the end,
you know,
family is family.
Yeah, but there's more than one royal family, and may the best man win.
You're hanging in there.
I'm not hanging in there because I've already told you, whoever wins, I win.
Not if you're betting.
I ain't betting. I'll watch you sweat it out like you did during the Royal Rumble. Okay, you kept changing it. It was like 7 times in. Okay, this is why The Rock's going to come out. That was hilarious. Oh, my God.
And, you know, it's bad enough I sweat during Roman Reigns. I got to tell you, I can't believe how invested I am in this dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, but at least, unlike the Jets, when you sweat and sweat and sweat, there's a payoff. Roman wins.
Yeah.
The Jets just...
Yeah, but I have a strange feeling it's all crumbling.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose Charlotte and Roman.
Look, I know that you're in total, like, you know, Cody, like, please.
All right, hold on, real quick.
Any thoughts, though, about the Backlund thing?
No, it's a great comment.
It's great comment. Did you see the face?
I will tell you this.
Like,
the WWE is now doing such a great job, yet again,
so good,
that I am not sure Cody's winning. I was pretty sure Cody was winning coming out of the Rumble. Now I'm not so sure. Well, I'm 50-50 right now.
Well, you know what? You're exactly where you should be, and you're exactly where every fan out there should be.
Right.
Because that's what makes this all so magical.
Did you expect
either one
Did you
can win.
expect Jay to clip Sammy on
Yes,
Monday night?
I did. I'm like, get him, Jay. I was sitting there watching.
You were positive? I was
I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there going, get him, Jay. Get him. I wanted him to get him.
Were you thinking he was going to get him?
Yes. You see, that's when that's when that is written so damn. I can recognize genius while I'm watching it. I'm like, he's gonna get him. Get him, Jay. Not yet. Get him, Jay. Get him, Jay. And then I was like, oh, this is great. I'm eating this up. Remember, we were just wondering what was gonna happen to Jay. Did they leave you hanging on that one?
They did a good job. They did a good job.
Fucking unbelievable.
They did a good job.
Great shit.
And that's what. So. At the end of WrestleMania, if you hear The Rock's music come out,
right,
are you saying, uh-oh, it's over for Cody, or are you saying, uh-oh, he's going to help Cody?
Here's the best part. Even though I agree with what you said could happen, and I think it easily could.
On the other hand, he could
help
Cody.
Who the hell knows?
But on the other hand, he could help Cody.
He might, and that would lead to like who knows what between Rock and Roman.
Exactly.
Remember we kept saying Roman can't hold the belt with The Rock?
Right.
It's got to be a feud when Roman doesn't have the belt because The Rock doesn't want to be champion. He's got a schedule. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Wow, this is nuts.
John Moxley and the Blackpool Combat Club have finally turned heel. The Blackpool Combat Club has been leaning towards heel recent week.
Combat Club.
So, thoughts on that?
I just yawned. You want my thoughts?
Yeah.
They finally turned heel. Okay. Yippee. What does this mean? Who are they going to fight with? What's the next hour? Why do I just feel so like gray when I watch this? I can't. That's the color I see when I watch this. It doesn't do anything. Why? What's wrong with me?
You know,
Probably
it's
a lot
funny.
from the indie fans. They're probably like, "You're an idiot."
I was speaking to
Yeah,
Andrew
maybe.
Anderson on the way over here tonight, and we were talking about Kevin Sullivan.
Okay.
A couple of things. I'll give two scenarios.
Okay.
One, we're personal friends with Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand like how a group like NWA wouldn't pick up an Andrew Anderson
Right.
to either be, I don't want to call him enhancement talent because I don't know if there's enhancement talent. In
I
the
wouldn't make him.
NWA.
I wouldn't.
But
personally,
again, he's big enough, strong enough that he could help you with your product.
yeah, I think he could.
But the real thing we were focused on, and I want your opinion on this.
Yeah.
You have a smart brain like Kevin Sullivan in house.
You have a genius.
Why wouldn't AEW and or the NWA reach out to a Kevin Sullivan and say, help us with our booking and storylines? Do you think Kevin Sullivan has a bad reputation as being a failure because of his WCW days? Or do you think...
Kevin made a lot of right decisions in his
Listen,
days.
he was here.
A lot more
I consider
right,
him one of the greatest bookers
a
of
lot
all
more
time.
right than wrong.
Absolutely.
So AEW is either doing it out of indifference or ego. Probably ego. Someone over there.
Do you think he's a dinosaur, that he doesn't know how to do
Someone
today's
over there
wrestling?
might not even like him. I don't know what this behind-the-scenes shit is.
But do you understand? You just said indifferent.
Yeah, I'm very much indifferent to it. I do understand.
Why wouldn't you get someone like a Sullivan to make you not indifferent?
They would need to. They really would need to. But that's the problem with AEW in general. I feel shades of gray. I see shades of gray when I watch it. I don't feel anything.
No, I agree.
It looks like wrestling. Okay, what else you got for me? I don't feel the substance of it. I just don't.
They're too quick on the trigger.
Yeah, I agree.
All the time.
Yeah, the storylines are.
The characters are not engaging. MJF, yes.
He's great.
Moxley, to me, has ruined his career, in my opinion. I am sorry. Daniel Bryan Danielson, MJF, wonderful talent, but I'll say it again, only translate to AEW. I can never see him going anywhere else. I don't care if everybody thinks he can make it into WWE. He can't.
You know what? If they keep this up, it's weird. When this first started, we almost, and to me, I'm almost ready to apologize to myself for giving them too much respect. Because when it first started and they were getting on a roll and stuff, we almost said, well, they're the best thing since WCW. Well, you know what? The way they're going lately, you're the best thing since TNA. Congratulations.
Right.
Because now you're in TNA land. You don't get 1.5 to 2. You don't get one whatever like WCW. Forget it. WCW back in the day got millions and millions.
Oh, absolutely.
But even as they were sliding down, they were getting 2 million. Okay? You're not that. You never were that. You were only half of that. That makes you today's TNA. How about that? How about that?
You're right.
And you can't say out there that the WWE is not doing what they always did. Millions of people watching, millions of people coming and attending. They're making more moolah than ever. And the storylines nowadays, unlike 5 years ago when they were making more money than ever, are really good. So what are you going to bitch about now?
I give AEW credit that they're trying. Like, they just had Ruby Soho
There's some good stuff in there.
Ruby turned heel, too.
Right, okay.
And she did a little speech. And here's another thing. With all due respect, anyone wants to go out there and say that Ruby Soho, oh, she's so good. Mm-hmm. She's so bad on the mic. I mean, they even gave her a decent, from the heart, vignette. I don't want to call it vignette, whatever, interview.
Right.
And she barely had me hanging on.
I'm not interested in her, but you know what, though, too? For all those people who thought it was such a triumph for his own freedom and now he can do what he wants, if you think that Cesaro, known as, Claudio CC nowadays, if you think that this is what is made, this is not good, what he's done for his career. Look where he was in the WWE. Wasn't he a holder of every belt, basically, besides the World Heavyweight title?
Well, I just think the fact
was he over with the fans in WWE? Yes, he was.
Are you
so now he's killing himself, physically, abusing himself, not making half the scratch.
Right.
And what, working in Ring of Honor? What do you say about that, Mike? You think that was a good career move?
Well, here's what
I don't think
say.
so.
Would you rather be Cesaro?
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, a lot of these wrestlers supposedly go to AEW because they wanna their art.
Their art.
Their art.
Right.
They're wrestling once every 3 weeks, right?
They're
No
also-
one's watching them. You left Fox.
And they're abusing
Fox.
the shit out of each other, like physically much worse
You
when they do.
You
get
lost
in the
to
ring.
Roman Reigns on Fox, Cesaro,
Mm-hmm.
but now you're winning every 3 weeks.
Ring of Honor in some small
In
venue.
some small venue.
Way to go for his art.
Would you rather be right now
Stop it.
Cesaro
Just stop.
or the Maximum Male Models?
Okay, now you're going to get me in a weird spot because the Maximum Male Models, I'd rather be anything almost but the Maximum Male
But they're-
Models. Can I be Otis?
It could be Otis.
All right, I'd rather be Otis in the Maximum Male Models. Is that fair?
But would you rather be
Just
Cesaro?
don't make me the
Would you
other
be
guys,
Ce-
especially the guy from Saudi Arabia.
Would
That guy, what's his name? Mansoor? Ow!
Would you rather?
I mean-
but would you rather be Mansoor or Cesaro?
I'm
right
going to
now?
go with Cesaro.
Really?
I don't like Mansoor. You picked the worst guy.
Oh,
I don't want his
come on,
money.
man.
I don't want his look.
All right. Would you rather be Dolph Ziggler or Cesaro?
I'd rather be Dolph fucking Ziggler.
So losing every week
Yeah, that's fine. You
in
know how
front
many
of
belts
millions of
I've
people.
won?
Well,
I'm Dolph
the whole
Ziggler.
point is if you want that artwork.
Right.
Again,
Dolph
Vince,
Ziggler's a great
I,
artist.
I got to tell you,
What an artist.
whoever
Dolph
thinks
Ziggler.
Vince, and I'm not giving Vince all the credit, but it's like every time
You
this
better.
guy they go, I can't believe they let that guy go.
Right,
They wouldn't pay him that money.
Right.
Well,
right.
there's the reason why.
There you go.
There's the reason why.
Yeah, you know, Cesaro was very popular with the fans, but he wasn't. You know, come on.
Okay, popular with the fans.
Yeah, the fans like
when
him.
I hear the pro wrestling experts say,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, they're so popular with the fans."
Yeah, you gotta
no,
calm down.
because they're cheering.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
People weren't going to Madison Square Garden to watch
No.
Cesaro.
No, they were going to go see Seth freaking Rollins.
That's right. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
The reality.
How
of it.
great is that guy?
That is great.
Yeah, he's great. That's greatness.
All right. So back, we're going. Did John Cena just pass the torch to Cody Rhodes on Monday night? Thoughts?
Yeah, in many ways, yeah. You know, I mean, and John's going to get back in the ring, huh? I saw that too.
He is.
You happy?
I am.
Oh, me too. Why am I growing like
I'm a little
fond
I'm a
and
little
respectful
worried,
of John as,
though,
as the years
because
go by?
I understand this is how Vince always wanted this to be. He wanted Hogan to do this. Like,
Yes.
you know, the Babe Ruth comes back.
Right.
So Goldberg came back, and then Goldberg would lose every
Right.
big event until finally Goldberg has lost his flair.
Okay.
Cena now, you know, he loses to Austin Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of like, well, you know, you really can't bring him back much more because he ain't going to beat anybody.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
I mean, when did he fight Roman? 2 years ago?
I can't remember now.
Two SummerSlams,
This is
I
a
think,
while
right?
ago. It was a while ago.
All right, so to me, it's like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
But yeah, could you wait? Okay, I know what you're saying. Could you imagine Hogan like, I'm going to put this guy over to win the Intercontinental title or something?
Well, that's
I
what
mean,
he-
after all, this is not for the fucking heavyweight.
you know, that's
title.
why him and Vince kind of ended the whole thing, because Vince wanted him to be that guy that
Right.
would come back
Right.
and, you know, lose to
Right.
the next up-and-comer,
Right.
give the guy, you know, the rub.
Right.
And Hogan felt he wasn't ready to start giving people rubs at that point.
Any shot that John somehow wins this match and stays for like a month, and then Austin beats him in a lesser pay-per-view because
So interesting, if John does beat Austin Theory, now this is a stupid
I don't think he should.
pro wrestling nerd comment,
Yeah.
but he then becomes the all-time, or tied with Ric Flair as the all-time U.S.
He is
champion.
He is a great United States champion.
he
John
ties
Cena
with-
is a great United States champion.
When you think of Cena, you think of the U.S.
Of
championship?
course
or
not.
you
I think of the
yeah.
WWE title, but that he's almost as synonymous with that
I
belt
gotta be
in
honest
a lot
with
of
you.
ways.
I got a big concern. Like, I would really like to see someone beat Flair's record.
Really.
If Charlotte does, that's fantastic.
I mean, Flair claims that it's actually technically 20 times he held the belt, and he's probably right. Those are probably those Japan.
Yeah, I got you, but
You know,
it isn't.
to me it is because Inoki did take the belt off Backlund, and we took it very seriously.
But that was never recognized.
I don't care if it was recognized. I recognized it.
Then you recognize that the $1 Million Man was the world champion.
The $1 Million Man was Of course he was.
But he He wasn't. He
What
was
are you talking?
handed the
That
title.
belt was beautiful. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about Andre giving
Fucking
Ted
with you.
DiBiase the
Oh
title.
yeah, well of course he was. That's a business decision. Don't you believe in business decisions?
Again, it must be recognized. I'm sorry. I got to be a stickler for the rules.
Nah, you're right about that.
Wrestle Observer reported that Vince McMahon snuck into the building at Raw. You think he was sneaking in? You think Vince McMahon needs to sneak in anywhere?
No, I think he was out of
I
my
don't
way,
wanna-
fucko.
I don't know if they'll let me in my own thing.
Right. Oh, wait a minute. It says he was snuck into the building probably to not be seen by nosy people like Dave Meltzer.
I got you.
Oi! It's Vince McMahon.
And Vince was also in the gorilla position, but he did not get involved in the story show.
At least that's what they was reported. I'm sure as the guys who stunk were walking
Listen,
past.
I-
You sucked.
I think
that was
even-
terrible.
I think even
Do it again.
I think even Vince knows that these storylines are pretty hot right now, and he wouldn't mess
Are
with
you
it.
sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Because
sure.
I can see Vince being like, "Oh, what I would do here."
You know what I love? I love listening to some of those shoot interviews. Now, I know you're not a big fan of watching all these things, but I do love the stories of these wrestlers that come back and they get the Vince McMahon story where Vince says, that was the worst match I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I
like
love
when he
that.
screamed at Kevin and Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. It was like that was garbage.
That was
That
garbage.
was absolute horrible. What about when it's the other way around? When Lesnar didn't like the way the match with Reigns turned out, he threw the belt at him. He's like, "Get the!" And then Vince was mad. He was so
Yeah.
mad. Heyman's like shooting out of the room right behind Lesnar. Like, I didn't see it. See you later, Vince. Don't yell at me.
I was listening to Dax
Great shit.
Hardwood's
Dax
podcast. He does a pretty good job.
Which one's
honestly.
Dosh and which one's Dash?
You know what's so funny though? It's like no one knew who this guy was until whatever.
WWE.
Yeah,
Honestly.
even really, but
No, the revival kicked ass. I loved them. I was mad when they left.
but
I
he
was
he
upset.
was telling a story. I guess he had
Good team.
a match with like him and the revival had a match against somebody,
Okay.
and they came in and Vince was like patting everybody on the back, but when
Right.
it came to them, he was like,
Yeah, they thought that they had done great, and he was like, "You guys,
he goes, Vince
you
says
remind
to
me
him,
of somebody."
well, Vince says to him, rumor has it that you guys are the next brainbusters,
Yeah.
Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. And Dax is like, all of a sudden, him and his partner are like, yes,
That's
finally recognition.
exactly-
And they're like, thank you, Vince. And Vince goes, no, that's the problem.
Ooh,
And he walked away.
destined for AEW. Fuck the revival. Destined. When you say something like that to your employee and they know that they can get decent scratch someplace else, I put, fuck you, dude. I'm out of here. I'll take less money.
Again, I think to myself,
Sirloin instead of filet. Oh well.
but
fuck
I always
you.
think to myself, like,
What are
these
you
guys that are
offended?
true wrestlers want to be remembered when they're finally on the Monty and the Pharaoh
Yeah.
couch.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah.
They want to be remembered
there.
as one of the all-time greats.
Right.
And I'm sorry. When you went to AEW, regardless of what people want to tell you, like, let me ask you something. I don't know if you caught it. I watched a little of it on YouTube. Before we get out of here, the 1-hour Iron Man match, MJF, Bryan Danielson,
Mhm.
now being touted as the greatest Iron Man match in the history of wrestling. Thoughts?
No. But again, when you throw these
No,
kinds of-
because you're 55 and you have better memories, or no for another reason.
How about I'll go with no because I'm 55 and I've got a truckload of matches in my file up here.
Iron Man matches.
Oh yeah, and I can tell you that right off the bat, that's not the impression I got. But if you want a real definitive, breakdown, sounds like a great subject for the show one time. It really does. Maybe we'll do that next week. Like the greatest Iron Man matches of all time. Let's do like a top 10.
Well, I will just
and
tell
we'll
you,
see where this
just having this
allegedly
conversation,
is.
I don't know if it was considered an Iron Man match, and
Yeah.
you correct me if I'm right or
Mhm.
wrong, but one match that comes to my head that blew that match on Sunday night away
Mhm.
was Brock Lesnar against Kurt Angle
Oh,
on
God.
Friday night
Oh
Friday
God,
night SmackDown.
That's probably the best one, right off the bat. But again,
and I'm not
I
even
would
trying.
rather-
I'm not even trying.
Yeah, well, you know what? Didn't I tell you what I watched? Like Hart and Michaels. You ever hear of those two?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Now, wait, I will
There
say,
are people who complain about it though.
but I will say this: the match Sunday night was very good.
What are they looking for?
But again, how do you start from I'm going to fight you, I hate you, Iron Man match.
Right.
Iron Man match is supposed to be
Durability.
the steel, but it's supposed to be the steel cage.
Be
the
nice.
culmination of all the other matches
the
that
I hate
lead
you?
to it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You just don't go straight into the Iron Man match.
Dude, anytime there was true hatred, there was no such thing as an Iron Man match. The climax, it was like you said, Steel Cage Texas Death Match.
Right.
Cowbell match.
Bull
You
rope
know?
match.
Bull rope match.
Dog collar match.
Absolutely.
But if you want to go Iron Man, fine. I
Right.
get it. But you got to have some matches before that.
Yeah, well,
Too quick to
I
pull
agree.
the trigger.
I agree. Credit to MJF, though, for being able to do that hour. Right?
Yeah, I think you told me you thought he had it.
He
in
can
him
go.
anyway. Yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm in
I
here.
don't think you were surprised. I
No,
wasn't
I'm just
surprised.
saying, though, you know, I mean, MJF he's
I will tell you
Are
this.
you sure we don't want him? I know you say no all the time, but we have
Here's-
to clean
here's
him
the
up,
problem.
right?
If I have
we'll ruin
nothing-
him if we clean
If
him
I have
up.
nothing invested in the two guys in the Iron Man match,
Right.
all the false finishers in the world
Right,
aren't
right,
making me
right.
jump out of my seat.
Right,
So if you're a pure wrestling fan and you just wanted to see wrestling, kudos
Right.
to you.
right.
But to me, wrestling as itself in a
Mhm.
whole, without all the bells and
All
whistles,
the things that you need.
I'd rather watch a television show.
I agree.
I'd rather watch a baseball game.
I agree.
I'd rather cook myself some dinner.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, I'd rather, let me put it this way. Give me that wrestling match against a regular season Yankee game or a
Mhm.
regular season Jet game
Right.
or Knick game or Ranger
You're
game.
watching
I'll
them.
choose all those before. If you
Right.
tell me Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, all those things before, it's not even close. It's Cody Rhodes,
Right.
Roman Reigns.
Right. And you're right. MJF versus Bryan Danielson or Star Trek Arena, Kirk defeats the Gorn. I'm watching Kirk defeat
I
the
go
Gorn.
with you.
However, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania, I'm sorry, Kirk. I'll get to you tonight.
That's right.
I'll watch it afterwards.
I want to see this.
I want to see this. I
Anyway,
agree.
this has been Mike Monty.
This has been the Pharaoh. You've been watching This Week in Wrestling. Until next week in wrestling. Later.
Good.
That was a long one.
That was good,
What
man.
was that? Was it?
That was good.
How
How long was that?
27 minutes, eh?